You are a sailor on an old wooden ship, becalmed on a flat black sea in the middle of the night. The water is too still, there is no wind, and there are no waves. And then the ship begins to lift, the whole ship, rising up on something underneath it that is far too wide to see the edges of, an island that was not there a moment ago, and it is starting to move. Welcome to the Horror Hub. Today's monster, the Kraken. For 1,000 years, sailors in the cold northern seas told of it, the Kraken, a creature so enormous it could be mistaken for land. It wrapped its arms around a full-size ship and pulled it straight down under the water, and left nothing but a spinning whirlpool where the ship had been, the single most terrifying thing in the entire ocean. And for most of those 1,000 years, people on dry land simply laughed. Then, in 1752, a Norwegian bishop named Pontoppidan actually sat down and wrote about the Kraken in a serious natural history book. He described it as round, flat, and full of arms, 1.5 miles across, the largest and most surprising of all creation. He said its back, breaking the surface, looked like a chain of little islands, and he said the real danger was not the arms at all, but the whirlpool it made when it went back down. A bishop. In a science book. So was he simply out of his mind? Here is the strange part. The pieces kept turning up. Sperm whales, the biggest predators in the sea, kept surfacing with round scars the size of dinner plates raked across their skin, and something had put them there. Every so often, a dead, tangled thing with far too many arms would wash up on a beach, rotting, longer than a rowboat. And in 1861, a French warship actually fought one at the surface, hauled part of its body up out of the water, and lost the rest back into the sea. Everyone kept finding the pieces, but that was the thing that would not go away. For all of it, the scars, the bodies, the drawings, not one single living person had ever seen the Kraken alive. It only ever came to us dead or dying or in pieces. Whatever it was, it lived somewhere we simply could not follow, down in the deep black water, far below the last of the sunlight, and it stayed there. Because the Kraken is real. It is an animal, and we have known its name for a while now. It is a giant squid, a soft, deep red hunter as long as a school bus, with 10 enormous arms lined with grabbing suckers and a hard black beak in the middle strong enough to snap through cable. And its cousin, the colossal squid, is heavier still. It has the largest eyes of any animal that has ever lived on this planet, each one the size of a dinner plate, built to gather up the faintest light in a place that has almost none. And that eye is the whole answer. The Kraken lives so deep, in water so black and so crushing, that for the entire history of the human race, we simply could not go down there after it. We were never going to catch it by sailing around on top of the ocean. It was 1 mile beneath us the whole time, drifting in the dark, watching the shapes of the whales it fights. So finally, we went down after it. In 2004, off the coast of Japan, scientists lowered a baited camera 900 meters into the deep and waited. And a living giant squid came up out of the black and seized it. The first photograph of the Kraken alive in all of human history. Then, in 2012, they tried something clever. They built a glowing lure that mimicked a wounded jellyfish, dangled it down in the darkness, and filmed the entire animal rising up into the light. There it was, moving, real. And a few years earlier, off the coast of Antarctica, a fishing boat had hauled a whole colossal squid straight up onto its deck, the largest one anyone had ever seen, now kept frozen in a museum in New Zealand, where you can walk right up and look it in its dinner plate eye. And here is the part that should stay with you. The sailors were not lying. They were not even exaggerating all that much. There genuinely is an enormous 10-armed, sharp-beaked animal with eyes the size of dinner plates living in the cold dark under the sea. And we only truly proved it was there within your lifetime. The Kraken did not turn out to be a myth. It turned out to be an address. So the next time you are out on the water and it goes very calm and very quiet, just remember, the ocean is mostly deep, the deep is mostly dark, and we have seen almost none of it. The Kraken is down there right now. We finally just have it on camera.